It was only a matter of time before cannabis tourism became the biggest trend in travel. Companies are popping up all over the country. We talked to two women in California who are running cannabis tourism businesses in two of the most popular categories, art and retreats.
Cannabis has always been something that I've used, for over half of my life now. I started smoking when I was 15. I know my mom doesn't like to hear that.
Heidi Keys runs CannabisTours.com, which acts like a travel agency for weed experiences in a handful of states where recreational cannabis is legal.
Even in states where it's legal, people are still surprised that there is a tourism aspect to it, and they get very excited about that.
She does wine and weed tours, which is why we're in a winery on one of her stops.
So on the buses, you can consume cannabis. When you're in the wineries, because alcohol and cannabis has to be separate, you cannot consume in the winery. Here you would just be doing a tasting of wine.
But her most popular cannabis tours activity is, by far, puff, pass, and paint.
So, first step is to definitely smoke, get relaxed.
A lot of people in our classes say that they haven't painted since they were in kindergarten, and so cannabis kind of helps them relax into it.
I think it's great. I don't know any of these people, but I'm talking to them and learning about them, and that's amazing.
Heidi started Puff, Pass, and Paint in Colorado, a state which, unsurprisingly, has acted as a sort of litmus test for cannabis-based businesses. The Colorado Department of Revenue released a report that said the state is now pulling in over $1 billion in revenue in a single month.
This is one of my favorites. It's really nice. Like up close, it's really, really beautiful.
Near Paso Robles, California, Flower Bullock runs Stoner Girl Treats and Eats. But she's hoping to capitalize on her proximity to California's wine country to create a bud and breakfast experience, a Stoner Girl farm retreat. And she's modeling it after the wineries around her.
We're taking a page out of their book. We're learning what they do, what it takes to actually have a successful bed and breakfast. You know what I mean? We just have a completely different take on it.
So far, there's only a few dozen bud and breakfasts in California.
So we'd be the first bud and breakfast actually on the Central Coast, and that's pretty exciting.
But no matter how popular, running a cannabis tourism business has its challenges.
Some of the difficulties are definitely that there's just different regulations. The laws are different from state to county to city to neighborhood to sometimes even one street over from where you're operating.
My greatest lesson so far has been patience.
Marijuana laws will keep changing, and cannabis tourism will have to keep changing with it.
And I think there's definitely going to be a lot more states legalizing in the very near future.